are brought together in a match of risk and reward unlike any in recent memory. Tonight in Las Vegas, such a meeting between Julio Cesar Chavez and Meldrick Taylor. Both are 140-pound champions. Chavez, WBC super lightweight titleist, is regarded by many as the best fighter in the world. Taylor reigns as the IBF's junior welterweight champ and is seen as one of boxing's most exciting competitors. Neither man has ever suffered a ring defeat. Chavez, who has won at least 66 consecutive professional fights, has the longest win streak of any active fighter. Add Taylor's 24 victories and 1 draw, and these two warriors are undefeated in 91 bouts. And under pressure, both have risen to the occasion. Taylor's career best performance was in his first title fight against then-champion Buddy McGirt. Chavez has been tested 16 times in championship fights. 16 times he has willed himself to victory. But they differ in style. One is active, averaging 85 punches per round. Meldrick Taylor suffocates opponents with rapid-fire flurry attacks. The other is accurate. Chavez lands at least half his punches, utilizing a sculptor's approach, chiseling away until each rock finally crumbles. These are the requisite elements of an unforgettable prize fight. Tonight, we bring you the unification of the 140-pound weight division between WBC titleist Julio Cesar Chavez and the IBF champion Meldrick Taylor. Tonight, World Championship Boxing comes to you live from the Las Vegas Hilton, where HBO Sports presents a 140-pound title fight unification between two undefeated champions, the IBF's Meldrick Taylor and the WBC's Julio Cesar Chavez. Live in the indoor arena at the Las Vegas Hilton, which seats 9,300, which has been the scene of some of Julio Cesar Chavez's greatest victories and toughest challenges, and has a crowd tonight populated by so many Mexican Americans, you might begin to wonder whether St. Patrick's Day is a Latin American holiday. A crowd whose participation in this fight will weigh heavily in the favor of Julio Cesar Chavez. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. It's our great pleasure at HBO Sports to bring you what we call and what other experts have called the greatest little fight money can buy. A bout between two extraordinarily talented, undefeated champions whose styles seem to be perfect foils for one another. As we turn to our HBO boxing analyst, Larry Merchant, it's worth noting that despite Buster Douglas's big upset over Mike Tyson in February, which was a big surprise, we had been looking forward to this bout for a long, long time. And both fighters are aware of the expectations. Could the bout collapse a little bit under the weight of all this excitement?
Following Tyson and Douglas is like Holmes following Ali or Norville following Paulie. In Tokyo, Tyson and Douglas were supposed to be a little fast food sushi, and happily it turned into a 4-star banquet. This fight is supposed to be a 4-star banquet, so we might be disappointed if it turns out to be a little less. It's so appetizing because Chavez is one of the toughest fighters you'll ever see, and Taylor is given a good chance to end his 10-year winning streak. If ever there was a reason for great expectations, this is it.
And of course, for all of those reasons, Larry, people within the sport have talked about this fight and looked forward to it for a long time and have filtered through their memories to find comparisons with past fights of historic significance. One of them, which pops up, is the first fight between Roberto Duran and Ray Leonard in Montreal in 1980. There were similarities, Ray, between Duran at that stage of his career and Julio Cesar Chavez. There were parallels between you at that stage of your career and an undefeated Meldrick Taylor. And what happened to you is that amid all of that excitement, you wound up fighting Duran's fight. Could that happen to Meldrick Taylor tonight?
Well, Jim, there's a parallel with Meldrick Taylor and myself, because I've come to believe that sometimes the aura of the fight, the anticipation of the event itself can be just as tough as the opponent. And for Meldrick Taylor to be effective, he must concentrate. Concentration will be the key tonight. He must not allow himself to get tough and try to exchange punch for punch with Chavez.
You spent a good deal of time with Meldrick yesterday afternoon. What's your expectation of his frame of mind coming into the ring?
Jimmy appears to be very, very relaxed, very, very confident, but I tell you what, action speaks louder than words.
We're going to see it very shortly. Of course, another bout to which this one has been compared is another that took place within the past decade. The first matchup between Alexis Arguello and Aaron Pryor. Here now, a closer look at the two undefeated champions and this great matchup.
Tonight's fight is the climax toward which Meldrick Taylor and Julio Cesar Chavez have been working for the past 2 years. One of them will keep rising toward the pinnacle of the sport. Though he's won 3 titles and 66 consecutive fights, Chavez remains an aspiring superstar. Limited to the Spanish language, he's still a relative unknown outside his native Mexico. And on his behalf, Don King has fostered promotional campaigns and a brief attempt at an education in English.
I must win this fight in order to achieve worldwide recognition. And to fight a champion like Meldrick Taylor and defeat him will help me achieve my goal.
Meldrick Taylor was one of the less heralded Olympic boxing champions of 1984. Fewer fans noticed his march to a gold medal than, for instance, the exploits of Breland and Biggs. But Taylor has since become the most successful of the 84 Olympians. The Philadelphia native won the junior welterweight title in only his 21st pro fight.
This is a good opportunity for me to show the world that I'm the best fighter out there at 23 pound for pound in the world.
In a sport where contrasting styles make great fights, these two champions are perfect foils. Chavez likes to fight inside, where he combines body punching with excellent defense to wear down his opponents and break their will. Meldrick Taylor relies on lightning speed and classic footwork to get off ahead of his opponents.
I have the quick hand speed, good lateral movement, good mobility. I see Chavez as a great pressure fighter, good combination, relentless fighter. But I see me offsetting that attack.
Boxing fans saw a similar matchup of junior welterweights 7.5 years ago. The Nicaraguan champion Alexis Arguello was like Chavez, a ring technician who held titles in several different weight classes. Aaron Pryor was like Taylor, an undefeated American champion who needed a major victory to propel him to worldwide recognition.
There were 2 fighters that was the best in their weight class in their field. They had different type of styles, like this time here with me and Chavez for the 90s. We have 2 young fighters with a whole career, life is on the line here, and we're going up against each other.
Pryor and Arguello put their boxing lives on the line for 14 brutal rounds in an epic battle of wills.
Combination by Arguello again, the uppercut and the overhand right. Back with another overhand right. Pryor smiles at him at the bell. Arguello trying to cover up. A smashing right hand. Arguello's helpless against the ropes. Arguello's hands at his side. It's over. Aaron Pryor has retired his junior welterweight championship. Arguello slips to the canvas.
We're supposed to fight because we love the sport and we like the challenge. Is what it feels to defeat another human being with the same brain capacity, with the same boxing skill, you know, and then you become the winner. That's the great thing.
Desperate determination is what made Pryor Arguello 1 a ring classic, and what may make this fight a carbon copy, especially since Chavez has come so far without ever tasting defeat.
I've always had in my mind that in the ring, every opponent is a champion, and I am a human being like anyone else, and one is always exposed to defeat. Fortunately, I've always prepared myself consciously 100%, as each one of my fights leads to bigger and more important fights, and I think that's why I have remained undefeated.
Meldrick Taylor has also benefited from a champion's desire.
My will probably prevail in this fight. Chavez is a great champion. He's determined. He has a lot of pride also. But I just think that extra little bit of will just to do anything it takes to win and just bring out the best. See, I'm a fighter that rises to the occasion. You know, if I have a challenge out there and somebody said I can't do it, or I have just got doubts about me, I'm going to do it. No doubt about it, I'm going to do it.
If Chavez and Taylor's confrontation is anywhere near as pulse-quickening as the 1982 Pryor-Arguello epic, fans will demand a rematch, as they did for Pryor and Arguello just 10 months later.
It's almost like deja vu. Only about 3,000 miles to the west. Oh, Arguello's down! Arguello's down in the first round! And the crowd urging Arguello on. A right cross by Arguello landed. Another right. He's got Pryor on the road. Pryor tired. Here goes Pryor again. Oh, what an uppercut to the chin of Arguello. Arguello's in trouble. He's down. He's down on his right knee, and then he goes to the seat of his pants. That's it. It's all over.
I went to the floor the third time, and I felt that I didn't want to get hurt. I said, I accept my defeat. This man is better than I am. I called the referee to still keep counting.
Arguello never recaptured the champion's determination he lost in that 10th round. Pryor later relinquished his title and has since been treated for drug dependency. But past history poses no distraction to Taylor and Chavez. Youth, great rewards, and the spotlight of the present belong to them tonight.
If I defeat Meldrick Taylor and the fight is not made with Hector Camacho, then I will move up and pursue a championship in the welterweight division.
I'm at the beginning of the prime of my career, and I think I'm going to really excel in this fight. And it's going to propel me as the best fighter pound for pound in the world. It's going to make me a superstar.
Great fighters need great opponents to sharpen their edges. Chavez needs to defeat an American star like Taylor to achieve the recognition here he already enjoys in Mexico. Taylor needs to beat a Lionheart like Chavez if he wants to be boxing's next box office superstar. When champions meet, high drama usually follows. And now we bring you back live to the indoor arena at the Las Vegas Hilton, where every seat is filled, as HBO Sports brings you World Championship Boxing. The 140-pound unification between Meldrick Taylor and Julio Cesar Chavez. It's scheduled for 12 rounds. And now once again, for more on this scintillating bout, HBO Sports boxing analyst Larry Merchant.
True story. Years ago in Philadelphia, two hotheads came to blows on the job, and the Boxing Commission actually licensed them to settle it in a local fight club. Headlines in the Daily News told the story. First day, he called me a lousy bricklayer. Second day, he is a lousy bricklayer. The fight drew an overflow crowd and hundreds of telephone calls to the newspaper for the result. Why am I telling you this story now, and why am I telling you that since the 60s alone, 10 heavyweight and light heavyweight champions have either come from or trained in Philadelphia? It's to impress upon you the breadth and the depth of the tradition that Meldrick Taylor represents, and to suggest to you that if anyone can beat a fighter like Julio Cesar Chavez, it's a Philadelphia fighter, meaning a fighter with the will and the skill to survive its fabled gym wars. Meldrick Taylor is a gold medalist, a champion, undefeated, and what underlines those credentials is that he is a Philadelphia fighter. Now back to ringside. Jim?
All right, Larry, a comparison in cultures between Philadelphia and Mexico, a contrast in styles. Chavez, the more precise puncher. He throws fewer punches per round, but lands a greater percentage than does Taylor, who tends to overwhelm opponents with a lot of activity. Which style would have presented you with more problems in the ring, Ray?
Well, Jim, the guy that throws less punches but land with more accuracy, and that's Chavez.
Of course, there's always a chance, though, that judges will be more impressed by the fighter who throws a lot of punches, even if he isn't landing quite as many. You never know if it goes to 12 full rounds, which it could here in Las Vegas. Now quickly, Ray Leonard, your tips of the night for both fighters.
Well, Jim, as usual, is speed, speed, speed for Meldrick Taylor, but also good lateral movement. That's the key, to not let Chavez get set. Always moving, never being a stationary target. He must move in and out. He can't afford to slow down because Chavez, that's his fight. He likes to get inside and wear your body down. So what he must do is in and out. Use that good speed of his. And I'll tell you one thing, Taylor is so quick, like here, tremendous hand speed. So what Chavez needs to do is slow it down. And the best way to do that, Jim, is body shots. Work that body, slow that man down, get him in the corner, and take full advantage of that. But Chavez is a problem. He starts off too slow. And if he should do that and not be aggressive, he's going to find himself trailing on points. So Chavez needs to be aggressive and fight his fight.
So that's a look at how those contrasting styles could play out in the ring. And right now, we await the entrance of the fighter with the 4th longest unbeaten streak at the start of his career of any fighter in professional boxing history. Julio Cesar Chavez records 66 wins and no losses according to our accounting. Most boxing authorities give him credit for 68-0, but we've been unable to substantiate the validity of 2 victories that are on Chavez's record from early in his career in Mexico. 9,300 people in the arena, and unofficially, Hilton officials suspected yesterday that as many as 75% of those tickets may have been sold to Mexican Americans who can be expected to root for Chavez.
I can assure you that there will be a little bit more noise tonight than there was from 30,000 fans in Tokyo for Tyson and Douglas. In fact, there was more noise at the weigh-in today than there was at that fight. And there you see perhaps the most impressive record of Chavez today. 16-0 in championship fights. Far, far in excess of any other reigning champion.
Mike Tyson was just beginning to get within range of that record when his unbeaten streak in championship fights was stopped in Tokyo. And there is another of the impressive Chavez statistics. 4th best streak without a loss in the history of the sport, and the other 3 who rank ahead of him were all fighters from back around the turn of the century. So in the past 50 years, no professional boxer has begun a career and sustained unbeaten success for as long as has Julio Cesar Chavez.
Chavez is about an 11-5 favorite. A couple of hours ago, the odds were down to about 8.5 to 5. But a lot of these Mexican fans have put their money where their hearts and even where their heads are.
Seating on the floor here is flat, so there are many who have not been able to see Chavez as he approached the ring. And now the noise will begin to swell as he enters the ring and comes within sight of most of the crowd. 56 knockouts among the 66 victories which we at HBO give him credit for. If you make it 68-0, it goes up to 58 knockouts. And none of Chavez's past 12 fights have gone the distance.
Which is sort of amazing, Jim, because he's not a knockout puncher.
And he's been moving up in weight class during those 12 fights. Unbeaten champions from present-day boxing, and you can see none at 34-0 is a distant second to Chavez in terms of his unbeaten record. Virgil Hill up to 27-0 now. But it takes enormous consistency to win every time for as long as Chavez has been able to do it against quality opponents in 3 different weight classes. And now the familiar Lou Duva and his lieutenants will lead their charge. Meldrick Taylor out of his dressing room. There is Lou filling the middle of the screen and screaming, "Where is the music?" Right next to Taylor, that's Pernell Whitaker, world lightweight champion.
Put the music on!
Already things aren't going the way Lou wants them.
All right, Lou Duva is happy now. Lou Duva is an emotional guy, and he makes emotions work for him with his fighters. They know he's backing them in every conceivable way.
He is so animated that there's a tendency among casual fans to think of Lou sometimes as a bit of a buffoon. But don't let all the antics fool you. He knows what he's doing.
You know what I find interesting is the fact that normally you walk to the ring, your song is always upbeat. This song is Ray Charles, very, very slow. It's interesting, I tell you.
And carrying the American flag into the ring is #1 ranked heavyweight contender Evander Holyfield.
An Olympic teammate of Taylor's.
So Holyfield holds the flag for his buddy Meldrick Taylor. This fight will also get the rapt attention of Meldrick Taylor's other Olympic buddies, Mark Breland, Bernal Whitaker, Terrell Biggs,
Virgil Hill. Pretty good graduating class.
Not bad at all.
Almost as good as the one you graduated from, Ray.
It's been so long, so I forgot, Larry.
Well, Ray Leonard, of course, was a classmate of Howard Davis and the Spinks brothers in winning his gold medal at Montreal. And now we take a look at Meldrick Taylor's record, the only mild blemish, a draw with Howard Davis in what was probably the best performance of the latter stages of Howard Davis's career.
And only the 12th professional fight of Taylor as well.
He's had some big wins over Buddy McGirt, Robin Blake, more recently a tough fight with Courtney Hooper that was more of a challenge than most expected it to be, but he was coming off of a long layoff from a knee injury. Tail of the tape, the two fighters are almost identical in size. A 1/4 pound weight advantage for Meldrick Taylor, a 1/2 inch height advantage for Julio Cesar Chavez, but basically they will present the same physical picture to each other in terms of size and dimension.
Jim, Taylor is a little bit stronger. Taylor looks more like a welterweight, I think. Chavez a little bit more like a lightweight, but Chavez has shown real muscle definition in preparation for this fight, more so than we've seen him.
Punch statistics, Larry.
And here is our statistical profile of how active these fighters are. And as you can see, Taylor throws a few more punches, but Chavez, who generally throws at close range, has a much higher percentage of success. Their styles also are reflected in the number of jabs they throw. Taylor throws more jabs. Chavez just pushes his jab out as an opportunity to get close to his opponent.
Rules for the fight, combining the rules of the WBC, the IBF, and the state of Nevada. 3 judges scoring on the 10-point must. No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule, and you can be saved by the bell in the last round only. Right now, let's go up to the ring announcer, Chuck Hull, for the pre-fight introductions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Hilton Center of the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel, where tonight Don King Productions and Main Events Monitor Dan Duba, President, in association with the Las Vegas Hilton, presents World Championship Boxing. This bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Dr. James Nave, Chairman. The commissioners at ringside this evening are Dr. Elias Ghanem, Dwayne Ford, Jay Nady, and Luther Mack. The executive director of the Nevada State Athletic Commission is Chuck Minker. Representing the IBF at ringside this evening is Mr. Al Goodman, and representing the WBC at ringside is Mr. Bobby Lee of the state of Hawaii. The officials assigned by the governing bodies for the next bout of the evening, the judges will be Chuck Giampa, Jerry Roth, and Dave Moretti. The timekeeper will be Mike Morabito. Counting into knockdowns, Al Bisick. The attending physicians at ringside, Drs. Flip Omansky, James Game, and Al Capana. And your referee is Richard Steele. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the unification of the WBC IBF 140-pound championship. Introducing, in the red corner, fighting out of Culiacan, Mexico, weighing in at 139 1/2 pounds, with a professional record of 66 wins, no defeats, with 56 KOs. He is the WBC Super Lightweight Champion of the World, Julio Cesar Chavez. And in the blue corner, fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he weighed in at 139 3/4 pounds. His professional record consists of 24 wins, no defeats, 1 draw, with 14 KOs. He was a gold medalist in the 23rd Olympiad in Los Angeles. He is the current IBF Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, Meldrick Taylor.
Okay, you guys, I spoke to both fighters in the dressing room. I'm cautioning again, tell them both to obey my commands at all times, all right? Watch the low blow, the rubber punches, okay? Shake hands, good luck.
The two things to watch right off the bat are, will Chavez come out faster than he normally does? Will Taylor be able to avoid serious exchanges?
Let's go.
I'm so excited I could watch these guys fight for 3 straight days.
Through all of his training, Meldrick Taylor trained with a circle drawn in the middle of the ring. Lou Duva urged him to stay inside there and not go near the ropes. When he goes near the ropes, even if he may look good doing it, he is doing exactly what his corner won't want him to do.
Well, they had what they call the zone, fight in the center of the ring, not allowing Chavez to corner him. So you should see a lot of movement from Taylor.
Customarily, Chavez does not throw a lot of punches in round 1, but he has promised, as Larry Merchant pointed out, to start faster this time.
Taylor's a little tight here, but I noticed where his punches came out rather. They were not exactly smooth.
Chavez scored with a left hook. A right in close by Chavez, but Taylor finished the exchange.
This is the kind of fight that Chavez loves, that inside fighting. Likes to work the body. So what Taylor has to do is to maintain his boxing style. Just keep moving.
Chavez's eyes are focused on the midriff of Meldrick Taylor. He is thinking body from the outset. Taylor with a left after he missed with a right to the body. For both fighters, the jab is a strategic rather than an offensive weapon. They're using it to set up other punches, not to do damage or to score heavily. Good countering jab by Taylor as they finish that exchange.
Chavez not really doing much. He's trying to see what Taylor has to offer. And then what he'll do, he'll pull on the attack.
Taylor using his hand speed to land a little bit more frequently. One subtlety to watch if you have not seen Chavez before. He has extraordinary capacity to keep his eyes open inside and find targets amid heavy infighting.
That's concentration. That's what it takes.
Right hand lead by Chavez. Taylor flurries in return.
You see the in and out movement from Taylor. Gets inside, throws combinations, and steps back out. That's what he needs to do.
Yep, just what you prescribed before the bout. So far, Chavez does not seem to have been markedly more busy than in past rounds 1. Probably something that is just constitutionally difficult for him to do. Taylor starting with the jab. Chavez is using more right-hand leads.
That was a terrific round for Taylor. Well-disciplined round, and that's the key for him. He consistently beat Chavez to the punch. Let's hear Ruben Castillo tell us what's going on in Chavez's corner.
Throw your right hand aloft. You got to respond immediately. 2 jabs, you go first. You throw a good left hook. Work inside it. Don't get frustrated. Don't get excited.
Yes, jab him in his belly. You understand? But just keep on making the little circle. Make it close.
Come on now.
Let your hands go.
No, give me a little more snap on that jab. A little more snap. Come on.
The most alarming thing from Chavez's point of view in that round is that he didn't land enough body punches. He must land body punches to slow Taylor down so that he can come on in the second fight, in the second half of the fight.
Round one was a very busy one for Meldrick Taylor. He threw 96 punches.
They also instructed Taylor to snap that jab, bring it back, because you see the right hand of Chavez. He's trying to counter that jab. And it's difficult to do that if you throw two jabs.
Chavez still doing more looking than throwing.
That's Jim, that's the kind of fight that's going to be good for Taylor. To frustrate Chavez. Make him look for him. Be cute.
We've seen Chavez get off to this kind of start against much less talented fighters than Meldrick Taylor, though. He started slowly against Sammy Fuentes here in November. And Taylor finishing exchanges inside, using his hand speed. Some unorthodox targets. Trainer George Benton has urged Taylor to go for Chavez's shoulders and to hit him on the hip to distract him and throw off his rhythm. There he goes, hitting Chavez to the hip. The expectation of Taylor's camp is that he can get away with low blows to the side of Chavez's body. They trade a right and a left, and Taylor did more damage with his left hook.
Taylor is bleeding in the mouth.
Yep, it's dripping out from between his mouth guard. Good right hand inside by Chavez.
The right hand of Taylor constantly drops. I think what's happening here is the fact that because he's been able to land so many punches in the first round, he's gotten a little comfortable here.
So far, Taylor has remembered to counter everything Chavez throws. How distracting could the little blood trickle out of the mouth be, right?
Well, it bothers you because it has a tendency, to just taste bad. Plus, it hurts you, hampers your breathing.
We've been told that Taylor had that cut inside his mouth during training. So it could be that an old cut has been reopened here.
You see the right hand of Taylor, he's dropping it.
Yep, and Chavez is throwing over the top of Taylor now, beginning to land with more consistency. Right hand leads, doing the damage for Chavez now. A solid left inside. And the crowd begins to heat up as Julio Cesar Chavez turns up the pressure.
These are going to be hard rounds to judge. Taylor controlled that fight until the round until the last 10 seconds. How do you score it?
You're too fast now. You understand what I'm saying here? Now you ain't having no problem, are you? Now look, hey man, don't let him carry you so fast. You understand? The guy's carrying you too fast. He's backing you up too much. Hey man, you got to get down, kind of dig in a little bit. You understand what I'm saying to you? You listening to me? Huh? Now get under some of them punches, right? And start to jab him at his chest. Put that up back. All right, I got it. Okay. Okay. No. Keep that jab.
Here's an exchange from early in the round. They're at close quarters.